1977, the World's Strongest Man competition has captivated audiences worldwide. Once again, the sport's most prestigious championship has delivered. 30 men from around the planet assembled in the African nation of Botswana, determined to take their place in history as the world's strongest man. After a grueling qualifying competition, the field was narrowed down to 10. Now, the most determined and powerful men on the globe will battle in the most excruciating events the sport has ever seen. Who has the passion, desire, and heart to rise to the top and win the title? It's the thrilling conclusion of the Commerce World's Strongest Man, and it begins now. Botswana, a spectacular backdrop for the 39th edition of the Commerce World's Strongest Man Final. I'm Bryant Shaw alongside Aaron Taylor as the 10 finalists begin their first event at Kasane Samoa Cultural Village, one of the most brutal undertakings in strength athletics, the frame carry.
The strongmen need to carry a pair of steel girders across a 30-meter course. The 825-pound weight will be like having a piano in each hand, so obviously grip strength is a factor.
5 of the 10 athletes make their way to the start line. Here now a little bit more about them in our Commerce Power Profiles.
Martins Licis, United States. Absolutely, I belong here. I've been lifting for a long time, since I was 9 years old.
I love this.
I know my way around my body, around weights, better than a lot of people. I beat people that are much bigger than me, just because I know how to move my body.
Matjaž Belšak, Slovenia. Of course, you learn with training also, always you learn new things. More important is this stuff, how you go on competition, how you feel, how you're thinking, it's very important.
Yes!
Jean-François Caron, Canada.
The crowd here is very good. When you have a crowd like this and you compete, for me it's important because you forgot the pain, you forgot a lot of things because these people cheering for you. You give really your 101%.
Mateusz Kieliszkowski, Poland.
At only 23 years of age, Poland's Mateusz Kieliszkowski is the youngest competitor this year. Only training for strength athletics for 6 years, he's rightfully earned his place in the final.
Laurence Shahlaei, Great Britain. I've made some awesome friends through strongman. They kind of understand what I go through on a daily basis. Break chairs, eat too much. It's not just about being big and strong. You've got to be a complete athlete. You need to work on your fitness, you need to work on your strength, your power, your technique. You know, if you want to pull an aeroplane, you can't just turn up to it and just give it a go.
Yeah, look at these guys!
When I come to these shows, that's when I want to be at my best. You kind of reach within yourself, kind of summon that evilness inside of you. If you really want it, it really means something to you, that's when you're going to dig deep. And I'm here to try and challenge for the top spot.
Here we go, Heat 1, Event 1, World's Strongest Man Final.
This is an event that requires strength, balance, and mental toughness, and Shahlaei in lane 2 looking really good early. Kieliszkowski's right on his heels, though. Transition's so important, that grip strength being a huge factor here. How about Kieliszkowski? He's going to cross the finish line and win this sucker.
He wins Heat 1, and nobody else is close.
Ooh, Shahlaei in lane 2. Maybe coming up gimpy a little bit, grabbing that left leg as we see Martins Licis in the near lane. Really giving a great effort. The more these athletes drop this frame, the harder it is to keep going because you have to expend so much energy to get it across. But Licis digs deep and finds a way.
Licis second in the heat, and now Shahlaei is going to come off the course.
Something clearly wrong with his left leg as we see Belšak frustrated with his performance.
The winner of Heat 1 in the frame carry from Poland,
So Kieliszkowski wins the first heat in the frame carry, crossing in 17.69.
Shahlaei looked good early, but after the turn, this unforgiving weight may just have slammed the door shut on another title run for the Brit.
It's that left calf. Twice he's had to pull out of World's Strongest Man in the qualifying rounds of 2013 as well as last year. Now heat 2 of the frame carry, and it's time to meet the other 5 finalists.
Eddie Hall, Great Britain. There's a nice feeling coming back to World's Strongest Man for the 5th time, seeing some new faces, some old faces. We all keep coming back and we all keep killing ourselves trying to win that title. Strongmans were a quite weird sport in respect of camaraderie. You know, everyone sort of helps each other out, eggs each other on. But at the end of the day, you know, we can all be friends and eat together and hang out at the hotel. When that whistle blows, they're your enemies, you know, nothing else matters. You've got to concentrate on the battle.
Hafthór Julius Björnsson, Iceland. Last few years, been at the podium, 3rd place, 2nd place, and then 3rd. Now I feel like this is my year.
Grzegorz Szymański, Poland.
Beginning his training in strength athletics at the age of 13, Poland's Grzegorz Szymański has returned to the Commerce World's Strongest Man competition for his 3rd time, this being his only appearance in the final.
Konstantine Janashia, Georgia.
Nicknamed by his American fans the Georgian Bull, newcomer Konstantine Janashia is 5 times Georgia's strongest man. A former rugby player, Janashia now has a chance to prove himself on strength athletics' largest stage.
Bryant Shaw, United States. I think it's always great coming back to World's Strongest Man as a returning champion. The target's on my back now. My absolute best performance is gonna come when all the pressure is on in that big moment, and I have to get it done. Strongman's a great sport because it's such a challenge. You push yourself as hard as you can, and you find out who the strongest is. It's primal in so many ways.
Here we go, heat 2 of the frame carry.
Remember, the frame carry is about grip strength, so keep an eye on Eddie Hall in that far lane, nursing a hand injury, dislocated fingers early in the competition, and he's sliding the frame. You can't do that. Bryant Shaw looking really good in lane 1 at the turn. Neck and neck with Szymański. Keep your eye on the young pup, the Georgian Bull in lane 4. Slow and steady may win this race. Yes, both Shaw and Szymański have to drop the frame, and Janashia is going to win the heat.
Bryant Shaw comes across in 2nd. You see Eddie Hall in that far lane. The ref has told him he must stop because he was pushing it earlier, and he's got those dislocated fingers. So we'll see what happens with that. Meantime, Szymański in a real battle.
He's in a battle with lane 2 with Hafthór Björnsson. Remember, you have to get the whole frame across the line, and Hafthór just edging out Szymański.
And that's it.
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of Heat 2
Shaw settles for
from
2nd
Georgia,
in the heat.
Konstantine Janashia.
Janashia takes the heat and finishes 2nd overall in the frame carry, 22.82.
You see Hafthór with just sheer determination to edge out Szymański, but it was the Georgian Bull with that great effort and those big traps that wins this heat.
And Laurence Shahlaei must withdraw from the competition for the 3rd time in the last 4 years. It's the first time he's had to do it in the final. Mateusz Kieliszkowski wins the event, earning him 10 points, which gets him out to the lead. Bryant Shaw with a slow start, only coming in 3rd. With one event down, the loss of Laurence Shahlaei has tightened the field to 9 competitors. Will a disastrous 10th place finish in the loading race be the end of Eddie Hall as well? Find out when the competition continues with the Circus Barbell next.
CBS Sports Spectacular presents The World's Strongest Man, sponsored by the Commerce Hotel and Casino in Los Angeles, Las Vegas Style Entertainment, Los Angeles Attractions.
The Okavango Delta of Botswana, a magnificent place boasting the largest concentration of wildlife in all of Africa and one of the world's most spectacular displays of natural beauty.
And both Brent and I have not only had the special privilege to visit this amazing place, but we've also been lucky enough to be here and see 30 of the world's greatest strongmen battle it out for this year's crown.
Of the 30 that came, only 9 remain, some familiar faces and some new. And after 6 events, only 1 will remain standing.
Brent, the 9 remaining finalists competed in their second of 6 events, the Circus Barbells. And here's how that quest went down.
The Circus Barbell is one whippy bar. Bounces. You have to basically clean it, press it for as many times as you possibly can in 75 seconds. It's not easy to clean because the weights don't roll that much. A lot of it is being rhythmic, still quick, but conserving energy and being focused for every single rep so you don't miss one and waste that energy. My first few reps, I would do the split jerk. I just launched it with my legs. Then when my legs got tired, I switched over to using my shoulders. When I'm fresh, that comes a lot easier. I get to save my shoulders a little bit, because I don't have quite so strong shoulders like a lot of these other guys do. Janashia, getting to know him the last few days, he looks like an absolute monster, almost like King Leonidas ate a whole boar to himself and just grew 3 times the size. But he's quite an awesome guy.
Oh, that felt good. And currently in second place with 6 repetitions from the USA, Licis. And the new leader of the Circus Barbell with 7 repetitions, Konstantine Janashia.
Janashia, really cool seeing him kick so much butt. Hafthór, Eddie. Those guys are monsters.
The points are close. I'm still in with a chance to win.
The shoulder events in the past have not been my, favorites, so I've been working very hard on my pressing power, and it's definitely been improving a lot.
I'm not one of those guys that'll just lie down and die. You could shoot me in the leg and I'll still be here competing. These weights are nothing to me, really.
Of course, I always want to win each event. I did 8 reps, equal first place with Eddie Hall, so I was a little bit disappointed that I didn't win the event.
With 8 repetitions, the joint winners of the Circus Barbell, Eddie Hall and Hafthór Björnsson.
That is a good bounce back for Eddie Hall, who's struggling with those dislocated fingers. Hafthór, Julius Bjordson, and Eddie tied for first place in their second event, each getting 8 reps. The 7 reps by Konstantine Janashia and Bryant Shaw earned them third place. After 2 events, Janashia pushes into a narrow lead with 16.5 points, but only 1 point behind, tied in second. Hafthór, Julius Bjordson, and Bryant Shaw are nipping at his heels. When we return to the Commerce World's Strongest Man final from Kasane, Botswana, the 9 remaining athletes compete in the deadlift and continue to try to climb to the top of the leaderboard. Test your sports knowledge for the chance to win cash with CBS Sports King of the Streak. Pick your first game now on the CBS Sports app to start competing for this week's prize. Welcome back to Kasane, Botswana, just minutes away from Chobe National Park, one of the most magnificent safari destinations in all of Africa, and this year's host of the Commerce World's Strongest Man. Back at the Saboma Cultural Village, the finalists are competing in their third event, the deadlift.
This classic benchmark of strength requires athletes to lift a loaded bar from the ground up to the hips, so good technique is critical for a successful lift.
So far, 4 athletes have already been eliminated. 5 competitors remain. Each has lifted 926 pounds. Remember, athletes are able to skip a lift. Eddie Hall has opted to take advantage of this, skipping the 959-pound lift. So he's going to pass here the rest of the guys, beginning with J.F. Caron, now at 959 pounds.
A good technique starts with the setup. You have to approach this right with the feet, the grip, the stance, and then the pull.
And he does it. J.F. Caron at 959.
And 35 kilograms from Canada, J.F. Caron.
Caron looking solid. He said you have to like the pain to be successful in this sport. Look at his body shake. He must be in his happy place.
He's got some swagger after that. Now it's the American Bryant Shaw at 6'8", 425, 3-time World's Strongest Man champ.
First thing you notice is the slightly wider stance and grip from the immense broad-shouldered Bryant Shaw.
Seeking his 4th title in this sport. Easy. Bryant Shaw.
Give it up for Bryant Shaw.
Currently tied for 2nd with Björnsson after 2 events.
Next man to complete.
Just impressive raw power starting from the ground, working its way up. You see his body shake, finally pushing those hips through. Looking really solid with that immense weight.
Now it's Hafthór. Tallest man in the event, 6'9", 417, and he's tied with Shaw for 2nd place right now. And that is it. Hafthór.
He's going up for Hafthór Björnsson, ladies
It's
and
not
gentlemen.
going to happen today. He will settle for a best lift of 926.
Hafthór's approach and setup looked pretty good. He started to load up, but right out of the gate, his shoulders dipped forward, and it was a no-go for the big man from Iceland, and he called it quits.
Now it's Janashia from the country of Georgia. He leads after 2 events. His attempt at 959.
It's important to try and pull the slack out of the arms, get some tension in the lats, trying to push the earth away with your heels, and then finally get those hips through. But Janashia, one of the only times we've seen him get dominated. Shaking his head. This massive weight, even with as strong as he is, gets the better of most men, even giants, like the big Georgian.
On to the next round. The first man to go at 981 pounds is J.F. Caron.
And Caron, overall, pound for pound, one of the strongest strongmen here. Caron, great approach. He can get this up. He's got to get his hips through, but he can't do it.
So close, but Caron couldn't quite lock it out. So he will settle for a best lift of 959.
That's about as close as you can get for J.F. Caron. Love the way that the weight started going up, but the most critical part is his leg shaker to get the hips through. So close, yet so far.
So now Eddie Hall, he was able to skip the previous weight of 959. He must get this, or he gets scored at his previous successful weight, and that was all the way back at 926.
Eddie Hall's a static lifting monster and currently holds a conventional deadlift record at just over 1,100 pounds. And he makes it look easy, my goodness.
Glad you got that in there, Aaron, because he looked like the world record holder right there.
That didn't take long, did it? Eddie Hall, there may not be a stronger man on the planet. He possesses unreal power. This event is perfectly suited for Eddie. He just manhandled that 981 pounds.
So Bryant Shaw and Eddie Hall, the only 2 left in the event. Bryant must make this to remain in the event and keep tied with Eddie. It would be success at 981.
See, those rip straps help these strong men hold this bar. See what Bryant's got left in the tank. Get those hips through, and he does.
I got your answer. answer, Aaron. He's got plenty left in the tank. So he has matched Eddie Hall at 981.
The returning World's Strongest Man champion, so balanced with his power. Now Shaw shifts on his initial lift, but his massive core kicks in and provides the necessary stability and power to lock it out.
So will these guys continue is the question. They've gotten together with head referee Colin Rice, and they've made a gentleman's agreement here to tie for the event. And Aaron, you know what? They've already put on a pretty good show. Eddie and Bryant agree to tie, both succeeding at 981. J.F. Caron took third place at 959. Björnsson and Janashia will share fourth in the event. After a slow start, Bryant Shaw has taken the lead with 25 points. Close behind him, Konstantine Janashia with 23, and Hafthór Julius Bjordson with 22. Kaz is with Magnus Vermagnusson.
The Botswana National Defense was nice enough to donate this C-130 to find out whether any of our finalists could pull it down the runway. I'm here with 4 times World's Strongest Man champion, Magnus Vermagnusson, who is an expert at pulling heavy vehicles. Magnus, just what's it gonna take for our athletes to pull this gigantic plane down the course?
Well, Bill, in our time, we pulled a lot of heavy stuff. Now, for these athletes to pull this gigantic thing down the runway, it's gonna take a Hercules effort. And they gotta dig in, put every inch of their body into this pull, and try to get the fastest time they possibly can.
Well, thank you, Magnus. We'll find out which one of our athletes can taxi this down the runway when we return to the Commerce World's Strongest Man.
Welcome back to Kasane, Botswana, and the Commerce World's Strongest Man final. The remaining 9 finalists are at the Kasane Airport ready for the arduous task called the plane pull.
60 seconds, 44,000-pound airplane, 25 meters.
Aaron, 4 men have already gone as we check out the highlights, beginning with J.F. Caron of Canada.
Talked about Caron's balanced overall pulling power. He looked good, giving it his best shot. Makes it for a distance of 21.73 meters.
Up next was Mateusz Kieliszkowski, and he went a touch further at 22.14 meters.
Kieliszkowski continues his impressive debut in the final.
Matjaž Belšak was next to go, and he did it just a little bit better. 23.55 meters was the distance for Belšak to move into the lead. And then Licis, talking about great debuts, he's been one of the best rookies.
Looking so good with good technique, just got to the end, the lactic acid built up, and the plane proved too much for the impressive American.
22.53 meters. So we continue on in this event.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Great Britain, Eddie Hall.
And it's Great Britain's Eddie Hall. He's in 4th place after 3 events here in the World's Strongest Man final.
When you're pulling a 44,000-pound plane, mass matters. And the thicker competitors typically fare well in this event. Eddie Hall weighing 410 pounds, looking very good early with some nice solid leg drive.
A military plane in front of an outstanding crowd on a beautiful day.
Really like the way that he accelerated off of the start, but this is the part of the course where you're gasping for air. Those muscles need O2.
Eddie Hall. The distance to beat, 23.55. And he's done it. Yes, he nearly goes to the ground. That'll be it. And the final distance for Eddie will be 24.45 as he moves into the lead.
Are you okay?
And getting some help from the trainers on all 4s.
And here comes that O2 or oxygen that his muscles need. Look at those biceps. That's a great view of Eddie Hall. Just the incredible effort that he gives. He's out on his feet, but there's no quit in the Big Brit.
Great Britain's Eddie Hall recovered quickly from a last place finish in the first event. Will a plane pull be his ticket into the top 3? Can Iceland's Hafthór Julius Bjordson overtake Bryant Shaw and move to the top of the standings? Find out when we return to the Commerce World's Strongest Man Final from Kasane, Botswana. Welcome back to the Commerce World's Strongest Man Final in Kasane, Botswana. Here at the Kasane Airport, 3 athletes remain in their 4th event, the plane pull. 6 guys have gone. Eddie Hall pulled the plane the furthest so far, 24.45 meters, leading the event. Matjaž Belšak currently in second.
From Iceland, Hafthór Bjordson.
And now it's Hafthór Julius Bjordson. He's in third after 3 events, pulling this C-130. It's a military transport plane.
You see Hafthór getting himself psyched up there. The mental part of this competition is not to be underestimated. Neither is the 417-pound massive frame of the Icelandic Giant.
He's come so close to winning the World's Strongest Man title a couple of times, seeking his first here in 2016.
Kind of a vertical approach there by Hafthór. He's looking good, but he's standing upright. He needs to be leaning forward a little bit more to take advantage and create some leverage with that big mass body of his.
The man known as the Mountain from Game of Thrones, trying to move into the lead. You see that distance to beat. And Hafthór has done it. Hafthór Julius Bjordson from Iceland into the lead, now trying to get as much as he can.
His feet slipping there at the very end. But what an incredible effort. Hafthór talked about him being serious about standing atop the podium. He gave it just about everything he had on this effort. The technique, you see him wavering a little bit there. His feet slipping, his head down. He just got wore out at the end and finally gave way.
Please welcome from Georgia,
now
Konstantine
Janashia in second place after 3 events. The new mark to beat is 24.90 meters, just set by Hafthór Julius Bjordson.
Newton's law is in effect here, teaching us that an object at rest tends to stay at rest unless acted on by an outside force. Listen to Janashia dig there as those short, choppy steps have this C-130 moving at a pretty rapid pace. Great example of the upper body and lower body working together. Those rock climbing shoes allowing for great contact power between his legs and the earth, but that lactic acid buildup is kicking in. What does Janashia have left?
That's it. He settles for 24.06 meters. Outstanding effort. That moves him into third here in the plane pull.
It was a great effort, Brent, but towards the end, started getting a little sloppy with his footwork and was out of sync. Janashia showing he's got the power, but lacking a little bit of stability. But even though, what a great effort.
The reigning world's strongest man.
So here's the American Bryant Shaw. He leads after 3 events.
Shaw, one of the crowd favorites here, and also one of the most thoughtful competitors, was out before he took the strain on this rope, sweeping the course to ensure he's got the best traction possible to pull this huge airplane.
It's not exactly the 18th green at the Masters, but he was treating it like that.
Really liking what I'm seeing from Shaw here. Look at the angle and the power with those short, powerful steps, getting that plane moving down the course.
Distance to beat, 24.90, set by Hafthór Julius Bjordson.
This requires the feet and the calves and the quads and the hammies, the biceps, the lats, the rhomboids. Shaw's got it all, but what's he got here at the end?
And he gets to 24.90. Not quite. That's the end of the road for Bryant Shaw.
But you notice he's not letting go of the rope. This plane has been rolling back on some of the competitors. He's holding on to it, ensuring that he got every centimeter that counts.
What an effort by Bryant Shaw, the three-time World's Strongest Man champ. He will finish second here in the plane pull, a distance of 24.53.
In the plane pull, coordination is the key, and the ever-perfectionist Bryant Shaw getting a little off balance at the end, but there's no questioning his sheer power and determination.
Here now is Kaz with the winner.
Hafthór, congratulations on a great plane pull. Just how hard was it?
It was difficult. I had to give 100%. I was fired up with this amazing crowd. I'm so happy with this. This opens the doors for me to win the World's Strongest Man. My two best events coming up, so I'm very pleased, very happy, and very pumped up for the next two events.
Well, good luck at those. Your fan club's still chanting your name.
They're amazing. I love these guys.
Björnsson gets his second event win, pulling it in 24.90 meters. Shaw came in right behind him at 24.53. Eddie Hall takes third in the event. So Bryant Shaw maintains his lead in the overall standings now with 34 points. Hafthór is closing the gap, only 2 points down at 32. Newcomer Konstantine Janashia is in third place, just 4 points back. And Eddie Hall still very much in contention with 28. With only 6 points separating the top 4 competitors, the race is anything but finished. The Commerce World's Strongest Man final in Kasane, Botswana returns after this. Welcome back to the Commerce World's Strongest Man final. The 9 remaining athletes are at the hot springs in Kasane, Botswana, about to begin their 5th event, the Kettlebell Throw.
This is one of my favorites. The athletes will have 60 seconds to get 7 kettlebells over a 15-foot, 9-inch bar. Whoever does it the fastest wins the event.
5 men have already competed. The current leader is J.F. Caron. He got 5 of the 7 kettlebells in 31.88 seconds.
From Great Britain, Eddie Hall!
Here's Eddie Hall of Great Britain in 4th place after 4 events.
Ready!
Brent, timing and technique are so important to the kettlebell throw. The athletes need to get themselves into a rhythm and find the right trajectory to get the kettlebell over the bar.
It starts at the 44-pound weight and goes all the way up to that largest one, which is 66 pounds.
There's a perfect example of poor trajectory there. Eddie Hall is so powerful, had plenty of height, but the wrong angle means that he has to make this attempt on the kettlebell twice, and he gets it the second time.
Second time he had it measured perfectly. The clock nearing 40 seconds. He's got 3 more to go after he clears that one.
Really nice follow through there. That's a critical part, no different than a golf swing. You have to finish it all the way through to get the kettlebell over. As these things are getting heavier, Eddie Hall starting to get a little bit tired. He's struggling here now.
Catch up with you, able to roll that one over, and Eddie Hall going to be satisfied as the time comes to an end at 60 seconds. So Eddie Hall, he's able to get 5 bells at 56.92.
Power not a problem early on for Eddie Hall because of good technique. But watch this, watch his head. He doesn't follow all the way through. Looking forward when he releases it, it costs him.
From Georgia, Konstantine Janashia.
Here's Konstantine Janashia, first-time competitor here at World's Strongest Man. He's in 3rd place after 4 events.
This is a timed event, and first thing you notice is Janashia started away from the kettlebells. Every second matters here. He's not taking any wind-up. He's walking backwards, squatting down, and just hucking it over in one fell swoop. There's the first wind-up we see on the 3rd kettlebell, and he gets it over easily.
Sometimes with these, we see guys get up there, and it's so perfectly measured. Then you get Janashia. He's just out there kind of flinging it from his hip.
I love the way he's attacking these, and he's taking his time here. He's not rushing. That's a sign of a veteran, and Janashia is relatively new to this sport.
That time didn't have the trajectory quite right and bangs it off the iron. He's got to go after it again as he's got just over 20 seconds remaining.
There really is a sweet spot, Brent, between the explosion that takes place and finding that right angle. So these athletes have to determine how far away they need to be to the bar, because these things start to get heavier as they go along.
to just kind of settle in and say, you know what, I'm going to get the crowd up for it, I'm going to get fired up and try to get one more, and it worked out. He moves into third in this event. Janashia 5 bells.
Janashia has been so strong this entire competition, but here he times his jump and release perfectly to get that last kettlebell over the bar.
It brings up Hafthór Julius Bjordson.
From Iceland, Hafthór Björnsson!
He's in second after 4 events, seeking his first World's Strongest Man title. He finished second back in 2014.
Look at that power from the Icelandic Giant. He's not even looking. He knows those kettlebells are going over, but he's wasting energy with them so high up. He's got to play this smart because every bit of energy counts, and he can ill afford to make a mistake, and he misses that kettlebell there.
That's the mistake you were worried about. Now, we still got plenty of time, but you wonder about his energy that he has left.
And he's rushing, making mistakes. Oh my gosh, he almost gets hit there.
That could have been disastrous. We're talking injury. Now, he's got to be able to circle the wagons, and he does with one remaining 66-pounder, and he's got 17 seconds to work.
But he used so much vital and precious energy trying to get that 6th kettlebell, 3 attempts, that he just doesn't have any left for that final 66-pound kettlebell. Another costly mistake for Hafthór Björnsson in the final.
So that's it. With Bryant Shaw still to come, Björnsson does move into the lead, 6 bells in 40.22.
He looked so good so early on, but he was so interested to get to that final kettlebell that he didn't follow through. The lack of technique and rushing may have cost the Icelandic Giant some crucial points.
The 3 times and reigning world's strongest man from the USA, Bryant Shaw!
The reigning world's strongest man who leads going into this event, the American Bryant Shaw.
Shaw is a consummate pro. He trains in Colorado. He's got all these apparatuses at home. So he overtrains. So the kettlebells he trains with are heavier than these. And it's showing already. He's looking pretty good here. But again, he's making the same mistake that maybe Hafthór did. Using too much energy, the kettlebell's flying too high over the bar. He may need that energy here towards the end as these things get heavier.
Now to his final 2, and he's halfway through on the 60-second clock. And now he's down to the final one, wants to check the time. Just over 20 seconds, gets the crowd into it for this 66-pounder.
We saw it work for Janashia earlier. Let's see if this great Botswanian crowd can motivate Shaw enough with this big 66-pound kettlebell.
He's already won the event, even if he doesn't get it over, and he's unable to do that. Still, the American is pleased. The winner of the kettlebell is Bryant Shaw.
Even though he used too much energy early on, strategy, strength, and his level-headed approach led to another strong performance here in the final for Shaw.
Bryant Shaw!
Yes! Yes!
6 bells in 34.97 seconds, the fastest time. Bryant Shaw comes off with another win. Björnsson, the only other competitor to get 6 kettlebells, he comes in second. Here's Bill Kazmaier now with Bryant Shaw.
Brian, you seem to come up with amazing performances after you take a second, say, just like the plane pull?
Yeah, I mean, that plane pull obviously didn't work out the way that I had hoped, and I got it offline a little bit and obviously didn't finish, so took a second there. I needed to come out and do well here. That was a statement, you know, and this is my title. I'm coming for it, coming for the stones, and we're gonna finish it off.
Good luck with number 4. You're right on track.
Thanks, Kaz.
Bryant Shaw holds on to the lead, 3 points ahead of Hafthór Julius Bjordson, who's in second with 41. Konstantine Janashia and Eddie Hall are in a tight race for third. Only 1 point separates them. When we come back, the competition culminates in a classic event, the Atlas Stones. Who will be crowned this year's champion? Find out when we return to the Commerce World's Strongest Man.
CBS Sports Spectacular presents The World's Strongest Man, sponsored by the Commerce Hotel and Casino in Los Angeles, Las Vegas-style entertainment, Los Angeles attractions.
The 2016 Commerce World Strongest Man Final in Kasane, Botswana is drawing to a close. Only one more event remains before a champ will be crowned.
This is the crown jewel of strength athletics, where the strongmen will be required to lift 5 gigantic stones in 60 seconds up on the platforms.
Eddie Hall!
The Atlas Stones it is. Eddie Hall, laid fourth after 5 events.
Konstantine Janashia!
And Konstantine Janashia of the country of Georgia. He's in third after 5 events. 5 athletes have already competed so far. Martins Licis leads the event, being the only one to get all 5 stones in a time of 34.80.
There is no greater test of overall strength, power, and athleticism in this event we're watching right here. Eddie Hall looking very strong with the 330 and 350-pound stones as he gets the 395-pounder up there quick.
On to the 440, 4th stone, and he's able to get it now. Eddie Hall onto the 465-pounder.
Janashia holding his own on the other side, but it's Eddie Hall here going for a fast time at 465 pounds, and he gets it.
Eddie Hall into the lead. Janashia settles for 4 stones.
With 4 stones in a time of 29.92 seconds.
4 stones at 29.92.
Give it up for Konstantine Janashia.
Puts Janashia into 5th place.
And with 5
Eddie Hall becomes the man to beat in the Atlas Stones. He's got the lead. He got all 5 in 29.68.
Well, Eddie's been a fan of this sport since he was 5 or 6 years old when he told his parents that's going to be me one day. Well, with his performance here, that would make any parent proud.
Representing the United States of America.
On to the final 2.
3 times world's strongest man, Bryant Shaw.
With the title of World's Strongest Man on the line between Bryant Shaw, the leader after 5 events, and Hafthór Julius Bjordson. He's in 2nd after 5 events. Björnsson has never won the title. Shaw has won 3. Even if Björnsson wins this heat, Shaw can still win the overall title as long as he gets all 5 stones in better than 29.68, which was Eddie Hall's mark.
Earlier, Shaw said he was confident that he would be at his best when the pressure's on. Well, here's his chance.
This is going to be tight. Bryant Shaw cannot have a bobble on the final stones. Hafthór's done, he wins the heat, but Bryant Shaw has just won the title of World's Strongest Man. He was about a 1.5 seconds faster than Eddie Hall. Björnsson finishes 2nd overall.
When it's all said and done, we could be witnessing the best the sport has ever seen. Only one man on the planet has more titles than Shaw, and that's Mariusz Pudzianowski, the legend.
For the 4th time, Bryant Shaw is the Commerce World's Strongest Man champion. Also on the podium in 2nd place, just short again, Hafthór Julius Bjordson. Got 2nd back in 2014 as well. And in 3rd place, Eddie Hall. His performance in the stones over that of Konstantine Janashia was just enough to push him into 3rd place. Bill Kazmaier is with the champ.
Brian, what a great day. You've just moved from the Magic 3 to the Mythical 4. What does it mean to you to join the Licis of Judas Savickas, John Paul Sigmarsson, and Magnus Ver Magnusson?
It's kind of hard to describe the feeling. Obviously, I dreamt about the 4th and wanted it very badly, and it's kind of surreal.
Well, you prepared for this for nearly a year. Where do you go from here? Number 5?
Coming for number 5. That's it. That's it. We gotta celebrate this now, and then we'll get back to work and refocus. And I'm coming hard for number 5.
Enjoy it, Brian. Congratulations on your 4th victory. You are the world's strongest man.
Thank you, Kaz. It feels good to have you say that, man. That's awesome.
And the Commerce World's Strongest Man is once again Bryant Shaw, taking home the Commerce Trophy and cementing his place in history as one of the strongest men to ever live. He's an unstoppable force, now joining an elite club of 4-time champions, and his momentum does not appear to be dwindling. For Aaron Taylor, Bill Kazmaier, and our entire crew, I'm Brent Stover. In association with IMG Original Content, this has been a presentation of CBS Sports.